Welcome back to the Home Story Cup 9 qualifiers for North America. This is still the first round we're casting between these two dudes, and it's a best of 3 concluding right now. It's tied up now 1-1, spawning the top right corner of the map from IVD Gaming, the red Zerg player, ZergZingZing. His opponent in the lower left. And once again, not Clarity Gaming. I know, you see CG and it's the first thing you think of. But, in fact, Crossfire Gaming. Yellow Protoss, practice. Now, this was actually a pretty back and forth series, but practice is changing it up quite a bit. And ZergZingZing, who has been pretty diligent about scouting for forges, for cannons and such, he's unfortunately not going to catch this one. Now, this isn't going to be cannons. This is probably going to be gateways if I had to take a gander. And well, it's really easy to be like, wow, new Protoss player doesn't know how to macro, so he goes for cannons. Or cheese. I can't even. He will unfortunately be scouted by this. Now, ZergZingZing is on that 15 mark, and he doesn't have to go hatch first. And if he goes hatch first, I'm going to pull my hair out, crazy, angry, mad, throw it at him. But yeah, double gateway 7 place down, and with a 15 pool to follow suit, we'll see if he can hold this off or not. Oftentimes, one of the classic responses to do is pull drones to try and focus down the pylon, but of course he knows that the probe will just place down more. So rather than losing mining time and risking that one approach to this, he's actually going to instead just continue mining and hope that his Zerglings/Spine Crawlers can hold us off. Now, it is critical, guys. You can try and get cocky with Zerglings, and sometimes that will work, but for the most part, you're going to need the Queen, you're going to need Spine Crawlers, and if you go for anything else, you're going to be in for some trouble. But, oh, that's a big snipe!
First blood.
Now that the probe's dead, if you wanted, he really could go over here and focus down the pylon before this, the first Zealot comes out, but that's not going to be the case. A gas is even being started. This is not going to be fun to deal with. The first Zealot coming out, guys, one Zealot. You know, you usually think like, don't ever bull workers versus a Zealot. It's going to 3-shot every worker in the game, and sometimes that is the case. But in rare instances like this, you're going to have to keep your workers alive, fighting and guarding the Spine Crawler. The second the Spine Crawler comes up, you're good to go. We got probes being pulled, by the way. This is about as all-in as it gets out of practice, and he really wants to win this first-round match. The drones have been drilled, though, and they can certainly try and deal with the Zealot. Some Zerglings popping out now, too. A swipe or two goes off, but this is a really nicely positioned Zealot, as it'll really minimize the damage that it will take while he tries to focus down the Spine Crawler. First one, unfortunately, is going to need to be canceled by the looks of it. Don't let that... Okay, I was going to say, don't let that die. You need every bit of minerals in this desperate situation, but drones being pulled, the probes are on the way, and I quite frankly think ZergZingZing has held this. As long as this Spine Crawler completes, he is good to go. There's a lot of Zerglings here, and the probes, well, the probes, unfortunately, going to get caught by the Zerglings, so not a chance to get involved with the fight. But that being said, we do see the Zerglings getting popped off by a couple of these. However, he can't afford to make anything else. No more Zealots on the way. Last 2 with these probes. Queen doesn't have any energy for transfuse, but doesn't need it. The Spine Crawler is being focused, but he's also focused firing down the Zealots. Very much so intentionally. GG is called, and ZergZingZing will hold and win the series. 2-1, and he'll move on to round 2 in the Home Story Cup qualifiers.